Hi, Sophia. Okay, I have a quick little lesson for you that I just wanted to shoot your way. It's just a little bit of advice on the Grumbling Marvin that I saw you play today. I love that you're bringing that tune back out. It's a tricky little tune. It's got some funny things happening, and it is more in the Quebecois style. So I noticed there's kind of this awkward part, and it looked awkward to me. If you like the way you're bowing it, all the more power to you. Please don't change anything if you like it. But I noticed this awkward little spot. So I just wanted to point it out to you, give you a little bit of advice, and of course it's always up to you. So what I noticed is that you were hitting the string crossing part, which is like the coolest part. You're hitting it on an up bow. To me, that feels more awkward, and it doesn't help me feel grounded right there. So the part I'm talking about, you probably know what I'm talking about, but I'll show you. So right? Our very favorite string crossing. Such a cool little spot. Right? Whatever it is. It's easy to get lost in that. You were hitting it like this because there's a quarter note in front of it. Quarter notes inside of a real pattern, they make you backwards, right? It's kind of like you slurred 2 eighth notes together because you're playing a quarter note. So that kind of puts you backwards into the string crossing part, which to me feels really awkward and kind of throws me off the rhythm. So I'll show you what I saw you doing, and then I'll show you what I would do. So you did something like this. Somehow you ended up back on a down bow here. Whatever happened there was fine. What I noticed is that somehow you got back to it, which is great. What I would do is it's kind of like something Donna taught me, which Donna talked about ghost notes. You might remember her talking about ghost notes. And what I did here, just when I was playing around with it, trying to come up with a more comfortable bowing, a way to get into those string crossings down bow, so that you can be down bow at the balance point. So I stayed all right here. It's much more easy to control. What I did is I put in a little ghost note. Ghost notes are bowing. They're kind of like a retake in the bow, but they're a little more rhythmic. So you do make like a little rhythm sound almost, but it's not, you're going to let up most of the pressure on the bow. So here's where the ghost note happens. I'll show you really slow, and then I'll kind of show you what I would do. Usually ghost notes are up bow, right? Yeah, so I think this actually, no, this is the right direction. I thought when I started making this video that it was backwards from what Donna usually says, but I think it's right. Okay, cool, this is great. So it is exactly what Donna said. So the ghost note is usually an up bow, so then you have 2 down bows in a row. And it's a really common thing that happens in Quebecois style. I'll show you where it is. Do you see what I did right there? I'll play the note instead of ghosting it for you. Instead of playing a quarter note G, you're going to split it and play 2 eighth notes. But eventually we don't want to hear the second eighth note, so it still sounds like you played a quarter note, but rhythmically you played eighth notes so you don't get backwards. Whew, hopefully that made sense. All right, so you might have noticed the third time through, I ghosted it, or I tried to. I'll show you kind of just the concept of the ghost here just by itself. So I'm still not super good at it, but that's the idea. There we go. It's like big and then float it up bow, so you don't want to hear it. If you do hear it at first, that's okay. I think that will really help you feel comfortable on those string crossings so that you do hit them down bow. So let me show you a tiny bit faster so you can see more of the momentum. That time I did something cool that I learned in my Irish tunes, which is slurring on the up bow, another slur. So there's a lot of ways to kind of get into that string crossing part down bow, but personally I really recommend starting that string crossing down bow because it's so much more grounding. So I'll just play it now. So that's the Irish bowing. So that's another way to do it. I'll show you that way. I might do the Quebecois one for this because it's a Quebecois tune, but just so you know, this is another comfortable option. Moving this, adding another slur. That's another way to get out of being backwards, is slurring into it. So I move the slur 2 beats later. So instead of slurring where you were slurring, here is another option. That first one is probably better for this style, but I'll tell you this anyways because it's cool and I'm already here. So here is another option. That's what I did when I started going fast. Yeah. Okay. That bowing is from Winifred. Okay, so that's 2 options. One bowing is from Donna, the first one, and one bowing is from Winifred. So that's more of an Irish style bowing with more slurs and less of that choppy chucking kind of sound, chop chop chop, with all those down bows. So there you go. 2 options for you. The first one is more of a Quebecois style, which is probably more appropriate for this tune, but I like the slurs. They're really fun. Okay, cool. Talk to you later.